Hey, good morning. Hey, guys. It's, gosh, what day is it? It's the 3rd of November. Just another beautiful day in Canada. But today, uh, we're going to have a short comment that I've been doing every day, and then we'll read from the 24-hour day book, and then we'll have a meditation. And got a bit of a special theme today. I'm quoting, but maybe not verbatim from the big book. And Bill said that we were spiritually sick, and that when we straightened out spiritually, all other things lined up. So our main focus is to become spiritually well, and so I think it said that we put our spiritual recovery first, and everything else lines up. Period. I mean, there's no ambiguity in that. That our physical and mental health will return after we become spiritually healthy, and that's the whole thing about the 12 steps and the 12-step program, and is this spiritual recovery. So I was thinking a bit. Like most of everybody, maybe the whole world has been got caught up in watching the antics in our neighbor's house to the south, and we all have friends and family that live there. Many of us do, and the United States has a big position in the world, however we judge it, good, bad, or indifferent, and I just want to share that we can have an effect on lifting people up. We see it one-on-one when we work with the recovering addict or alcoholic. That our care, that our love. Often we say in the rooms, "Let us love you until you love yourself," and then we'll continue to love you. And so, really, the tendency, if we're not well, is to judge and complain, and to judge and complain, and the possibility is to actually lift people up. A country, a company, an institution is only as good as its people and the spiritual health of its people. And in spirituality, the spiritual principles of compassion and acceptance and generosity are not to be mistaken with religion. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about about spiritual principles. So I encourage you all. We're going to meditate in a few minutes, to maybe meditate with an idea a bit to send love to our neighbors today, and to lift them up, and to help them see above the fray, and for them to be and live in love. I suspect there's millions and millions of people today praying for their spiritual well-being, and againstness, fear, is the symptoms of the spiritually unhealthy, and complaint and judgment, are all tied up in being spiritually unhealthy. I mean, what do we really know? And that's the truth too. So even as we pray for them or send them love, we accept wherever they happen to be in this moment. We're not in fear. We're not spreading fear. We're just spreading this idea of caring and love. And enough people spreading fear, enough people, in the name of trying to keep everybody informed, are also creating a fear. So let's come together today, and that's my message. Come together in supporting, And it's interesting how if a friend is sick, it's easy for us to pray for them, right? Or if even a friend's child is sick, and it's easy for us to pray. But when when it comes to something like the way things are in the world, it's maybe easy for us to judge and not pray. I would say that for the most part that many adults act like children, acting like children, and so we can pray for them just like they were children, and yeah. Anyway, that's my little bit today, that just reach out with compassion. At the very least, don't add to the pot with judgment. At the very least, and send them your love. And that's my thought for the day. Okay, we're going to read today, November 3rd, in the little book that we have, the 24-hour day book. November 1st, 2nd. There we go. November 3rd, 24-hour day book. Okay, you guys, welcome. Thought for the day from the 24-hour day book, written in 1954. Beautiful, eh? It says, I have charity. Which is another word for love. I have charity, which is another word for love. And that's what, I'm thinking, for when we see our neighbor's house upside down, to have that charity, that love for them. That right kind of love, which is not selfish passion, but an unselfish, ongoing desire to help our fellow men. Beautiful. You still with us? I mean, that's exactly what I was just talking about. Here we are. That right kind of love, which is not selfish passion, but an unselfish, ongoing desire to help my fellow man, to do what is best for the other person, to put what is best for him above my own desires. Beautiful. To put God first, the other fellow second, put God first, the other fellow second, and myself last. Charity is gentle and kind and understanding and long-suffering and full of desire to serve. AA has given me this. What I do for myself is lost. What I do for others may be written somewhere in eternity. That's so beautiful. Like if we drive a man home and pay for the gas. What an opportunity. Whenever we have an opportunity to serve, this is the point right here. It's just right here. To put God first, the other fellow second, and myself last. Charity is the gentle and kind and understanding and long-suffering and full of desire to serve. What I do for myself is lost. What I do for others may be written somewhere in eternity. Have I charity? Beautiful. Beautiful. So in that vein, what I just chatted about, to serve and remember to, to think of our neighbors, when our neighbor's house is upside down and they're full of fear and anger, like we're seeing in some of the our neighbors to the south. Let's have charity for them. Let's send them our prayers and our love, and think of them today in their uncertainty, in their fear. Meditation for the day. Ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. Ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. Wow. God has unlimited power. There is no limit to what his power can do in human hearts. But we must will to have God's power. But we must will to have God's power. We must ask God for it. God's power is blocked off from us by our indifference to it. We can go along on our own selfish way without calling on God's help, and we get no power. But when we trust in God, we can will to have that power, the power we need. When we sincerely ask God for it, we get it in abundance. We get it abundantly. Beautiful. Isn't that something, eh? Pride is what keeps us from asking for help. Oh, I know it well. Anybody else here know pride? Pride says, I can do it myself. Right? It's like these readings are for you. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may will to have God's power. I pray that I may keep praying for the strength. I pray that I may keep praying for the strength I need. Wow, isn't that beautiful? That is so nice. All right, we're going to do a short meditation, like 10 minutes. No sleeping. Remember to sit up straight. Ego sometimes will almost put us to sleep, because ego doesn't want us to get well or to connect with higher power or to be spiritually fit. Ego wants to stay, in control. I know that sounds funny, but it'll become more obvious as we go along. Okay. So if you're going to meditate with us, you find yourself in a really, kind of a comfortable spot with your back supported, so that you don't have to think about your body. Your whole body supported, sitting in a chair or sitting on the floor. If you're on a chair, have your legs uncrossed and on the floor. Often it's to have your hands on your legs is nice. You can just sit so comfortably this way. And then we go into our breath. We breathe in. We breathe out. So our breath brings us into the moment, into this space. Mostly, in our lives on a daily basis, we're not really here. We're in our head thinking about the future, or thinking about the past, or thinking about something other outside. So we're going to come into this moment, into us, into now. And the breath brings us there. It's beautiful. Breathe in. Just at the bottom of the breath, or some may call it the top, just hold for a second. Then let it out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And it brings us into this moment, into our breath. Just feel ourselves being here in the breath. With our attention on our breath, we're really here. Just feel our bodies, feel our feet on the floor, feel our butt sitting on the chair. Bring ourselves into our body. Yes. We can bring our attention into our body, brings us into the moment as well. Brings energy into our body as well. Most of us spend so much of our time, in our head, above our shoulders, if you will. So just be here now. Now this is, when we see thoughts coming, we just let them go. Now when I share this with you, if you're watching your thoughts, just for a minute recognize who's watching the thoughts. And it becomes really obvious with some practice that the thoughts are not you. That the mind is not you. That there's something beyond the mind that is you that's watching the thoughts. Remember, don't fall asleep. You have to just move a little bit to bring yourself out of falling asleep. Do that. Just now watch the thoughts again. Breathe. And we just drop deep in. Eventually, the thoughts just disappear. They may even continue, but they're not us. We're just watching them. We don't get attached. We don't get attached to anything here. Eventually, we're free, without attachment, without a desire, without anger, without fear. This is the road to freedom. In the now, we experience freedom, and that grows. Freedom is in our every moment, because we become present, become conscious, or aware of consciousness. We are consciousness in this moment. Okay, so we're just going to take a few minutes. Just sit in this space. Remember to breathe. When thoughts come, bring our attention back to our breath. Often we'll see how the mind is like a spoiled child, clamoring for our attention. Just let it be, it'll be fine. Into our breath. gently come back into the space. So I encourage you today to send love and sweet energy to our friends south of us that are caught in the dualistic world of right and wrong and good and bad, and fighting for what they think is right, or that somebody else is wrong. And there's a place above that. This whole growing in our spiritual, health is to help us find that power that's above our crazy minds, our crazy thinking, our selfish thinking. So love is that power. Universal intelligence is that power. Consciousness is that power that heals, that opens doors, that is the only possibility. Spiritual health is the only possibility for an amazing life free of fear and anger. So just let's send that love, because it's endless. Let's send it all day to our friends in the United States. That's my thought for them, that we can do that. And for our neighbors anywhere, anybody's in strife, anybody's in panic, anybody's in fear, we just send them love. Okay? So thank you for being here. Yeah. All right. Love you lots. We'll talk soon.